pass it off, and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on, and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags her.
Hello and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway and the 3-Wide Racing League's RLJ Custom Graphic B-Class Series live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman, and with me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes doing all the button pushing is our director Kevin Brown, and our camera sets are provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, last week we were at Watkins Glen where the championship order got a little bit shook up, which was a problem for some as there are only 4 rounds left to go, including tonight's race here at Texas.
Yeah, and as we're finding out, we've got one of the people in the championship hunt not here tonight, Nate Lockamy, out after having an incredible run last week, coming up 7 points in the championship, and 7 places in the championship. But tonight we come to Texas Motor Speedway, my backyard here in Fort Worth, Texas, just south of Denton. 120 laps here tonight around this 1.5-mile track, 24 degrees of banking. We're going to run the Camaros and the Mustangs tonight in the B class. No fast repairs. Fixed setup tonight, and it's a bad fast setup, but I will tell you what, it's because you don't get any repairs, as I said a moment ago. 50% of fuel, which means you're going to need 3, probably 4 stops. We'll see how the cautions shake out. You might be able to get 3, but with 120 laps and on 50% fuel, it's probably going to take 4. As I said, Nate Lockamy, who got up to 3rd in the points, is going to be out this week, Sam, and that's going to shake up the championship. Like you said, we had a lot of moving around last week. Maybe it's time we talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's have a look at the championship. There is a trace for the championship in this series, and we currently have 4 rounds left to go. 2 races currently in the books as far as the trace is concerned. 10-driver trace. Here are your top 5 on the screen right now, and as Sean mentioned, Nate Lockamy is currently on vacation. But the top 2 drivers are very close in the points. As a matter of fact, the whole top 10 are only 20 points from 1st to 10th. But that being said, Sean, Tanner Sharp, we were the points leader. We were talking to him before the race started, and he sounded very focused. And also, something a bit surprising that he said is he believes that Samuel Close is really his only championship rival, really the only one who can take it away from him right now, despite the fact that the others aren't that far back.
Yeah, well, Tanner apparently knows a little something we don't, but I'll tell you what, Tanner was focused, and he was, you could tell, he had his race thing going on, and he was ready to get out here and take this race from everybody tonight. So look for Tanner to be a contender, although, got to say right now, back at 10th, he could be setting himself up for a tough start tonight.
He is.
Start is going to be tricky here tonight, and those cars will get bunched up coming across that start-finish line. They'll have to get it hard into 1 and make their way off of 2, which is such a tricky proposition. They're just about up to full speed coming off of 2 there, and that is such a tough corner to get off of, Sam. That's where this race is going to get started tonight, and making it through that traffic could be a little bit of trouble early.
Tanner Sharp is currently back 10th in qualifying. As you say, his championship rival Samuel Close is currently in 11th, so neither of them doing too hot, you would suspect. But fact of the matter is, they are only 0.2 of a second off of the provisional pole sitter right now, Paul Ross. We currently have, 7 minutes left of qualifying here, just past the halfway mark during our qualifying session. And the times are very close here, Sean. I don't know if that necessarily means we're going to have a close race, though, because it seemed during practice, at least towards the end of practice, a lot of the drivers were hot lapping and trying to get that best time to try and get the advantage in qualifying. When we joined the session about halfway through practice, top time was 29.3. Paul Ross eventually pushed it down to 29.0. He currently has a 29.1 in qualifying right now, and with 6 minutes left of qualifying, I have a feeling we're still going to continue to see the times come.
Yeah, well, actually, Sam, they're going to get ready to pull off the track here. It's only 10 minutes in the qualify. They do a 5-minute drivers meeting. So actually, qualifying is about to wrap up. These cars will be pulling off any time here. Paul Ross laying down a really fast one. Nobody able to crack that 28-second barrier, but 29.1 is pretty hot, man. And hats off to Paul Ross. Don't know if anybody out there is going to have enough to knock that down right now. So I think this is about where we'll end up. But, man, this is going to be some kind of race tonight. You know, we talked about the 120 laps here. You know, there really are about 2 or 3 racing grooves, but, you know, there's only one that'll really keep the car stable. And if you can find it, it's generally up around the middle, maybe a little outside the middle. But you got to be really careful, and throttle management and how you get in those turns and how you handle the wheel plays such a big part in being consistent here. Probably one of the more challenging 1.5 mile tracks out there. Will provide some really interesting racing tonight. And you know, if you get out in the clean air quick here, it's easy to get ahead, because if you get a rough start, you have to get out of the gas to save the car. You can get behind so quick. So the leaders will come up on traffic pretty quick. So it's gonna a lot of management going on tonight. One of those types of races.
Absolutely, and a good thing I'm not a race car driver, because I will be sent to the back of a grid pretty much every race. I always seem to forget these driver meetings. These drivers should be wrapping up qualifying right now. There you see one of the drivers pull into the apron on the backstretch, and I can tell you that pit road is a very busy place, not action-wise, but as far as cars on pit road are concerned. So it does look like qualifying is over, and it does look like Paul Ross will start from pole position. There was a lot of talk during practice and qualifying, Sean, that we would have a different run pole sitter during this race, because one driver who's been very good at hot lapping is, of course, our third place driver in the points, Nate Lacombe, who is not here today. So that opened up a different driver to take pole, and Paul Ross took full advantage. Yes,
he did, and just trying to see here real quick, but I think that might be Paul's first pole of the season. And congratulations to him. That, like I was saying before, that was a wicked fast lap he laid down. And Justin Cole right behind him there, 7/1000ths of a second behind Paul Ross there to pull off the outside of the front row there in second. So congratulations to Justin for being up there on front.
Yep, and currently third behind is another Justin. That is Justin Kozenski, currently lined up in third. Alongside him, the other driver whose name is hard to pronounce for me, Levi Zielinski, lined up in fourth place. That's row 2. Carlos Acosta will be our in-race reporter. He will be starting from 5th place, and lined up alongside him will be Richard Laferty in 6th.
Yeah, and in 7th on the inside there, Johnny Thomas in a number 83. And just outside of him there in 8th place, Nick Miller in a number 9. Skylar Nissel starting 9th tonight on the inside in number 31. And just outside of him, second in points right now in the championship race, Samuel Close sitting there in 10th, Sam.
Tanner Sharp, our points leader, will be lined up in 11th, so I guess Samuel put on a faster time late in the session and was able to get by Tanner. Corey Lindsay is lined up in 12th place, and then behind them on the 7th row of the grid are Ron Collinsworth and Race Clark. Douglas Thompson and Mike Stevens are the slowest two to have put on a lap. Nathan Young would start 17th. I'm checking. He is in the session, so I'm not sure what the story is there. He didn't run a qualifying lap.
Yeah, not sure there either. I would suspect he is probably going to start, but that would get him an EOL anyway. So anyway, but yeah, this is we're getting ready to knock these 120 laps out here, Sam. Who do you like tonight?
Oh, it's hard to say because I mean the front row are drivers that we're used to seeing up there, but it's row 2 are the drivers that we're used to see up there and winning. Justin Kozenski and Levi Zielinski, I recall having called their names a lot. So I think your winner is going to come from that second row. I don't know if I could put my finger on which driver it's going to be though.
Well, you know, Krasinski has won the last 4 out of 7 races, so I talked about him being a hot shoe last week. I mean, he's primed to win this race. I don't know if he's got the car for the long run there. I guess only time will tell, but he certainly could be a contender. But I'll tell you what, I'm I'm going to roll the dice a little bit tonight on Johnny Thomas. I think that 83's got an outside shot of getting in this thing tonight and making a little bit of a climb up the points there.
Johnny Thomas, for a long time, as the times were falling during practice, was our fastest driver in practice. He eventually fell down to third with a 29.1. He was only able to run a 29.2 during qualifying, but that was pretty much a sprint session, only 15 minutes to try and put on a good time, and honestly less than that because it was only 10 minutes considering we have a drivers meeting going on right now, and honestly the first 5 minutes of qualifying were pretty ugly, so really you only had about 5 minutes to get a decent qualifying time in. We will wait and see how representative these qualifying times are of a finishing order. I have a feeling, as you have alluded to, Sean, we may see some comers and goers tonight.
Yeah, it's a fast field. You look at again at those the practice times of where some of these guys were on, the length of a run during practice, and the field was pretty close throughout the top 10. There'll be a lot of passing here. There's a couple of really good opportunities to do it here. A lot of draft to work with on that back stretch. Coming out of 4 through that tri-oval there, you could really to gain some ground there on the inside, even the outside. You play it right, you get a nice run. So there'll be a lot of moving around.
Only a 17-car field. Hopefully we have 17 cars. Hopefully Nathan Young hasn't got tied up in another commitment. They're about to get gridded up right now, so we'll find out for sure in just a couple of moments. They will have one pace lap and then they will go racing. However, it seems generally we have had smaller fields in the 3-wide racing league, and they have gone on to put on pretty impressive races still, and especially with this tight competition, 7 thousandths of a second between first and second on the grid, a tie on time between the drivers 3rd and 4th on the grid, and our points leaders mired back in 10th and 11th on the grid. There are going to be plenty of storylines throughout the field during this one.
Yeah, and Nathan Young did make the field, and we're going to be keeping our eyes on our in-race reporter Carlos Acosta there. He in the Rooster Teeth number 2 machine there. That Camaro is ready to go. He qualified pretty well there inside on 5th place. He'll be able to make some ground quick if he can just follow the leaders there on those first couple of laps, keep that car out of trouble.
Let's have a word with Carlos Acosta before this race starts. Carlos, you're lined up in 5th place. Are you happy with that?
I am actually extremely happy with that. I didn't expect to qualify further than 10th.
All right. Well, you've got several fast drivers in front of you. Are you going to try and make a move on them early on, or going to just try and find a place in line to ride early on here?
Just be conservative. Find a place to line. Let those tire pressures build up, and then go for them.
Sean, anything else you'd like to ask Carlos as we do our one pace lap here?
Carlos, at these overcast skies, you think that car's going to have a little bit of grip, or you're going to be fighting a loose car all day?
Oh man, we got a lot of grip now. I think it's going to get looser as we go on, but in the beginning it might get pretty hectic with how many people get overconfident with themselves.
Have a great race, buddy.
Alright, thank you guys. Have a nice broadcast up there.
Yep, the field is rolling. They're coming off of turn 2, so we are going to let Carlos go because in less than a mile we will be racing here. Once again, it is Paul Ross, your pole sitter, in that number 51 white car on the inside line. Justin Kolb running a Stars and Stripes paint scheme, Independence Day last weekend. Happy Independence Day to everyone in the number 25 car. And then Justin Krasinski and Levi Zielinski on the second row. Here come the field to turns 3 and 4. And the pace car is about to peel off, and we will have the green flag here for 120 laps at Texas Motor Speedway, and Paul Ross leads them away.
Everybody looking good across the line there, all the way back. Not a bad start. Here they come off of the tricky 2, Sam.
Good start by Justin Krasinski. He has moved up into 2nd place. Justin Kolb has fell back to 3rd. They're still too wide throughout the rest of the field here. The battle between Johnny Thomas underneath Richard the 13th for 5th position here.
Pretty tight battle back here mid-pack.
And now Justin Kolb is trying to get that second place back here on the second lap. Justin Kolb up on that high side. He had the disadvantage of not being able to see when the leader, Paul Ross, went. Because you can't really see out of your side window in iRacing. But Justin Kolb gets that second place where he qualified back. And look at Carlos Acosta. He said he was going to filter into line and be conservative. That's not the way he's playing it right now. He's up into third.
Nice run by Carlos. Looking a little deeper in the field here. These cars are all really looking pretty good right now. Everybody's settling in, finding their line, and racing smart right now. Nobody being too racy yet. Corey Lindsay, watching him. The 10 car is side by side right now, and so there's a little bit of a race there. Corey Lindsay getting passed on the inside by the 22 machine. Race Clark getting around him. Back here, battle for 13th and 14th place.
Oh, and look at Douglas Thompson almost loses it. And Carlos Acosta has lost it. He's running again, but he's going to lose all those spots. He was charging just a little bit too hard, a little bit too early. Apologies for any technical difficulties right now. I can tell you that you're not missing anything up front. Top three are still single file. The first battle is actually for fourth going on right now. Richard Lafferty about to make a move on Levi Zielinski.
Yeah, and Acosta took a really bad tumble right there. That shuffled him all the way back to 11th place. Just that little bobble right there, and he has got Ron Collinsworth in his mirror right now, and Race Clark right behind him. So looking up there at Skylar Nissel, he is Carlos trying to make a run up to Skylar Nissel right now, but Nissel running that upper line, not really down low, and got that car running pretty good. But Acosta with a really nice run off of 4 there, gained some ground.
Yeah, let's have a look at our championship contenders, because Samuel Close has just broken down into the top 5 as Levi Zielinski is actually falling back quite a bit. He just dropped back to 7th behind Johnny Thomas. Meanwhile, Tanner Sharp, the leader of the championship, has only been able to make his way up into 8th place after starting 11th, I believe. However, could he possibly be preserving his stuff for late in the run? Levi Zielinski is way off the pace.
Yeah, I think Zielinski lost the handle on it there and had to get out of the throttle, and that it looked like coming off of 4 there, he got that car started to push up the hill and started to come around and got a little bit of a wiggle, had to get way out of the throttle and down the home there. Sharp gets by him, and Nick Miller got by him.
A bit of a battle for the lead was shaping up last lap, but I think Justin Kolb actually scraped the wall exit in turn 2. Not enough to really damage the car, but enough to cost him a bit of time to the leader, Paul Ross, who continues to lead the field. He's led the field from the green flag. We are currently working lap 8 of 120. All green so far. It's been pretty clean racing, considering I had a couple of fears watching practice that might not be the case. Good battle for 9th still going on. We're watching it right here. Nick Miller slides up. Carlos Acosta, as you mentioned, Sean, is trying to make his way back up through the field.
Yeah, Carlos there, after losing it and able to gather the car up, is back on the throttle and looking pretty good. He is working on the bumper right now there. Levi Zielinski got around Nick Miller, and now he's working on Zielinski as they head into 1. And Carlos takes it down low. Zielinski gets it up top there, and Carlos is going to take that spot away. I don't know. Ooh, it's real close coming off. Looks like Carlos had to get out of it a bit there, Sam, getting off of turn 2.
Battle for the lead, here we go. Paul Ross goes up into no man's land up on the high line. Justin Kolb was under him in turns 3 and 4 and is able to complete the pass in turns 1 and 2. I have a feeling maybe Paul Ross went up into no man's land to and he does have a bit of damage there, you see, on his right front fender, so maybe that's what was affecting him. He got out of the groove, and because I was surprised at how far he was pushing up. At first I thought maybe he was yielding to give Justin Kolb a spot, but he did get up very close to that wall exiting turns 1 and 2 last time around, Sean. That's not when he hit the wall, but that damage may have been why he almost hit the wall again.
Okay, I'll try and get my turns right this time, okay? Well, I'm still watching Acosta and Nick Miller right now. They've got quite a battle going on, although Acosta seems to have just made up a little bit of ground there as I'm starting to talk about it. But, man, they were, for 2 laps, back and forth trading positions. Acosta now coming across the line, making his way up to Zelensky now, but that battle he had going with Nick Miller was a pretty good one. Now Miller's having a battle with Collinsworth back there, and they're fighting for that 10th spot.
They are indeed. Collinsworth is not one of the trace drivers. Nick Miller is. He currently actually sits 5th in the points. He was 3rd in the points centre in Watkins Glen, but if I recall correctly, he got caught up in a massive pile-up in the first turn on the opening lap, so it's cost him a couple of spots in the points. So do not count Nick Miller out, even though he's running 10th right now. I have a feeling some of these drivers may be driving conservatively early on here, Sean.
Boy, it sure seems like it. Hey, that's not a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of racing left as we get ready to click off lap 14 here. Again, a lot of racing left to go. So Acosta just gets right below Zelensky here. They come across the line. It's Acosta. He gets another spot. Acosta up to 8th, gets past Zelensky.
And the next drive on his target will be Tanner Sharp, who is currently actually several seconds in front of Acosta. Let's see if I can get a number on it. Oh, okay, actually it's only about 2 seconds. It's just they travel so fast around here. It looks like a lot more than that. Meanwhile, Tanner Sharp is actually, last time we mentioned him, he was up in 8th. Now he's up into 7th. He's closing in on Johnny Thomas for 6th. His championship rival Samuel Close is up in 5th, and Ron Collinsworth is in trouble, as is Skylar Nissel. They're both off in the grass in the D-oval there, but they keep it straight and there's no caution.
Collinsworth and Nissel just get together there, coming off of 4 there, and just that little bit of contact sent both of them just scrambling through the infield. Both of them able to hold on to those cars. Collinsworth making a run down the end of pit road there. I have a feeling he's probably going to have to come back through for a stop and go, but Nissel there also able to save the car. A little bit of damage, but I think Nissel's going to be okay. He's going to have to get the thing in and probably get that damage repaired. Looks like he might have a bad right front right now.
Trying to work out what's going on with Ron Collinsworth, because it looked like he was coming into the pits and then he stayed out. I'm wondering either one, his car is badly damaged and he's trying to get the hang of it again, or 2, and that's the other theory I had, he was trying to ask the officials to see if he could get his black flag cleared, and I can confirm that is exactly what's happened. So he thought about coming into the pits to serve that stop and go that you were talking about, Sean, and then the officials said, no, don't worry about it, stay out, we'll clear it for you.
Yeah, that being said, Nissel's going to keep his car out as well. He got a little bit of damage there on that right front, but I think he's able to work with it. The race, though, is up in 5th there. Samuel Close right now.
This is Samuel Close in 5th. He is looking on Richard Lafferty for 4th. And there's a battle in front of him. Justin Krasinski going for 2nd under Paul Ross, who has lost the lead. Justin Cole, which must have happened... No, it did happen on camera. I apologise, short-term memory. But Justin Krasinski working his way back up through the field.
I kept an eye on Samuel Close here. He is working over Richard Lafferty right now, and... we got a slow car there, right up there in the turn as they're coming off. There's Collinsworth and Lafferty having to make a move there. Samuel Close down on the inside. He's going to go low. Lafferty up the track. And, man, they are side by side. Lafferty losing a little bit of ground there coming off the turn, but he had to take it easy. He'd gotten out of shape there making that move to avoid Ron Collinsworth there. Man, that was a pretty scary moment there, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know how many of our viewers follow Formula 1, but I couldn't help but think shades of Nigel Mansell there. Meanwhile, Paul Ross just got into the wall pretty heavily coming off of turn 2. He's going to lose multiple spots. 2 spots in total right now, but it could be more. So Samuel Close in about 2 laps goes from 5th to 3rd, as Paul Ross goes in about the same amount of time from 2nd all the way to the back of the field. This pit stop is going to put him.
Yeah, Paul beat that right front up pretty good. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look very healthy.
Justin Cole just hit the wall. What's happening with our leaders? He's able to keep going, but he just completely slid into the turn 2 wall next to them.
You know, Sam, we're 21 laps into this run right now, and 50% fuel. Yeah, that fuel window about 28 laps, man. These cars are getting light, and they were already loose to begin with.
And now, obviously, this is going to affect the aerodynamics on Justin Kolb's car. This is a very aero-sensitive track with such a narrow racing groove, and that means Justin Krzyzewski may be able to take an opportunity here and take the lead in the coming laps. And right now, look at Kolb, he's almost losing it in turns 3 and 4. We saw him do that a couple of times in practice. He actually drifted through a couple of turns. That's all fun and games in practice. You don't want to be doing that in the race, so I have a feeling we may see a new leader here in a couple of laps, Sean.
Yeah, well, I think he's got some pretty good right front damage. It's obviously affecting the handling. Krzyzewski able to get to him, and yeah, they've got that lap car there in front of him, and right now coming up on it, anything can happen right here.
That is Paul Ross currently running in 15th. Ron Collinsworth and Paul Ross, and sorry, that's Skylar Nissel. Ron Collinsworth and Paul Ross are the 2 cars currently off of the lead lap. We ride aboard Krzyzewski. You can see Cole going by Nissel, so now there's 14 cars on the lead lap. Paul Ross, by the way, has gotten back out on the track.
Yeah, and Skylar does a good job of getting out of the way there, letting Justin Krzyzewski by, but that is definitely the race right now up front there, Kolb and Krzyzewski. Tanner Sharp, though, got his way up to 5th and working hard. He's been able to keep that car out of trouble and just run a really consistent race right now. Johnny Thomas also doing the same. That 83 machine right there sitting in 6th place, looking pretty good right now. Only about a little less than 4 seconds off the lead.
And our championship contenders, our championship leaders rather, have proven today why they are the championship leaders. They started 10th and 11th, and actually Tanner's coming into the pits. And I was about to say they were running 3rd and 5th, and not anymore because Tanner Sharp was in. He hasn't hit anything, so this must be scheduled.
Yeah, he's short pitting just a little bit, so he's got something up his sleeve, I would think.
It's very interesting, Sean. As forecasters, we're able to talk to the drivers ahead of the race, and usually this series is very, they're very chatty. they like to talk before the race starts, but about 5 minutes before qualifying started, and actually I think it was 10 minutes, Tanner Sharp politely left our session that we had going on and said, hey guys, I need to focus, and maybe this is part of what he was focusing on. Maybe he's thinking, okay, if I want to short pit, what lap do I have to come in on? And this could actually turn out to be a huge strategy call.
Yeah, Justin Kolb making his way in now, and so the leader is in now, and Krzyzewski's following him in, so that's it. The dominoes are starting to fall, Sam. Right here at lap 27, going on 28.
It'll be interesting. So Justin Krzyzewski gets a much better run into the pits and is actually able to pass Justin Kolb on pit entry. So that will probably mean that Krzyzewski could be our leader, unless Tanner Sharp is able to... Mind you, Tanner Sharp was quite a ways back. I don't know how much those newer tyres are going to help him out though. But here goes. Krzyzewski is going to win the race off a pit road. Kolb actually losing a lot of spots. Samuel Close is going to come out in front of him. And Tanner Sharp, I can tell you, has only just crossed the start-finish line.
He's into 1. Sharp is into 1 and coming through halfway through the turn. And he is coming now out of 2. So Tanner Sharp right now, and he's getting a run, getting a little bit of help there, a little bit of drafting help from Corey Lindsay as they get around to number 5 with Samuel Close.
So Corey Lindsay is currently our lead. I think Samuel's going to have to go high here because there you go. Corey's coming into the pits. Trouble for Skylar Nissel. Very slow on pit entry there, and I saw a puff of smoke, so there may have been more to that story. I'm curious to see how long... Oh, Mike Stevens, who's currently the leader, is coming into the pits now. Actually, no, is he leaving the pits? Yeah, actually, he's just running all the way down the backstretch. Something must have happened to him in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Skylar Nissel was saying he dumped it in the middle of 3 and 4 there trying to come into the pit.
So, there were about 4 laps of pit stops there, so as you mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Sean, we might be seeing 4 stops in total. Tanner Sharp bringing it in very early, and that has moved him up into 3rd spot overall, so that has paid dividends.
Yes, it has. Yeah, so, Krzyzewski working right now with a 2.5 second lead over the field there, Sam. That's just nothing but good. He's clean in front. He's got nothing in front of him either. He's got nothing but clean air out there, man.
So the biggest loser over this whole cycle of stops has got to be Justin Kolb. He was running up in second place, I believe it was, and now he finds himself all the way back there in ninth. Not only was he slow on pit entry, he had a slow stop. I don't know what was going on for that number 25 car.
Yeah, it really slowed him down. I'm going to take a look back here and see what actually may have happened, but
good battle for fifth going on right now. Johnny Thomas, Paul Ross. Remember, he had that damage a couple of laps before our scheduled pit stops begun, so he has actually been able to take advantage of that stop and run a couple of laps on newer tyres than the rest of the field. If he is able to get to the end of the same amount of stops, that could pay off. We've got a good battle for second going on right now. Tanner Sharp has moved his way up into second, but not able to get too far away from his championship rival. Samuel Close has worked his way to third, and what's wrong with Paul Ross? He's sliding through the grass. Able to keep it straight, and we remain under green. No caution throughout the first 33 laps.
Just amazing. What an amazing run, Sam. We've seen these guys put these cars down in the grass and have some really close calls, and we've managed to keep it green for now 34 laps, sorry. And what a battle going on here right now between Richard Lafferty and Tanner Sharp and Sam Close, man. These guys are running right now, and they're really running hard off of these green flag pit stops. The tires are fresh, and they're pushing the cars to their limits again.
Well, Richard Lafferty has been dropped from that battle, and now it is between our championship contenders who have worked their way up from 10th and 11th to 2nd and 3rd. Tanner Sharp with Samuel Close all over him, and Samuel Close knows he's got to get by Tanner because he is behind in points. He needs to finish in front of Tanner in order to be able to gain points. Sure, he could do that next week or the week after or the week after that, but why not do it tonight? Well, he has the opportunity right here. The reason he couldn't do it in turns 1 and 2 was he got a little bit too close to Tanner there, drove the turn a little bit too fast for what the aerodynamics would allow him. The front end pushed up, he lost a lot of time, and he'll have to try again in a couple more laps.
Well, Johnny Thomas leading the best of the rest right now. He is in 5th place, strong. Got Carlos Acosta right behind him, and then right back there, Levi Zielinski, who spent some time at the front in the Ricky Bobby Me machine. The Cougar is on board, I hear, and they're all having a pretty good run right now. Looking good.
Troubles for Douglas Thompson entering turn 1 there. A lot of drivers. It seems that these drivers are still suffering from that loose condition. The track and the setup haven't really changed a heck of a lot from practice. They're still suffering from the same kind of looseness that they were in practice, Sean, but they have all learned how to drive it now.
Yeah, and we got a few of these cars out here rolling with a little bit of damage, so they're having to adjust to that as well. And so far, after these green flag stops, we've looked pretty good. We've had a couple of minor loose conditions, but everything looking pretty good. Real racy conditions right now. This overcast scene out here, track temperature up to 79 degrees right now. Again, pretty racy conditions for these guys right now. Lots of nice little battles going on all over the track.
It'll be interesting in the coming months, maybe, hopefully not years, iRacing gets some dynamic racetracks, and these will start to gain grip as the race goes on. And Justin Kolb is rallying back up to the front there. He goes up into 7th place by Levi Zielinski. 2 cars not too far in front of him of Johnny Thomas and Carlos Acosta.
Yeah, and Acosta wants that 5th spot away from Johnny Thomas really bad. He's driving that car hard off the second turn right there.
Oh!
Yeah, it looked like Kolb just behind him slapped it coming out of 2.
And that will cost him a position. Back to Levi Zielinski, so he'll have to try and make that pass again, but this time a bit of damage on the side. Battle for second, here we go. This is a championship right here. Not today, but possibly in the future. Samuel Close has just gone by Tanner Sharp.
Nice battle there. Kolb able to get that car back under position after getting out of trouble, getting in trouble there coming out of turn 2. But Kolb is back under power He's trying to get to Zelensky. He is not out of this thing yet. Running 8th right now, and again trying to get his way to Zelensky. Carlos Acosta, though, having a pretty solid run. He has found his way back into this race after falling back there. And Johnny Thomas right in front of him. That battle still remains. Only about 4/10 of a second separates him, Sam.
Justin Krasinski qualified 3rd. He is the only one of the drivers in the top 5 who qualified in the top 5. Samuel Close started 10th, Tanner Sharp 11th, Richard Lafferty 6th, and Johnny Thomas 7th. So qualifying order doesn't seem to have made a heck of a lot of a difference. It seems just being conservative, not making mistakes, and being fast at the same time, but not just at the start of the run, in the middle of the run, and at the end of the run, and even in the pit stops too. That seems to be what's going to win this race today.
Yeah, and the time in and out of the pits. I went back and looked there. We talked about the fall that Justin Kolb had there in the pits, and the time he lost. And honestly, it was really just a matter of that car needing a little bit of repair and him having to sit there a little bit longer. But throughout this field right now, these cars are winning the war of attrition, because we've gone 43 laps under green, and everybody's still running very fast competitive times, Sam. They're all still really close, within tenths of a second of each other.
And none better demonstrated than up here in 2nd, where Tanner Sharp is not giving up on that championship point to Samuel Close. He gets very close to him down the back straight, gonna look down the inside. Samuel in turns 3 and 4. Ford versus Chevy, number 3 versus number 5. Points leader versus points runner-up, and they are nose to nose. Let's see, actually they crossed the line that time by 9 thousandths of a second apart. Samuel was in front. Tanner Sharp really trying to make this pass stick, but he's not going to be able to get the run off of a turn. Samuel Close doesn't get a great run either. If Tanner can drive it in hard in turns 3 and 4, he might be able to complete the pass. Is Samuel going to give way to him? I think he's not going to have a choice.
Man, those boys are racing, man. Racing here on a Monday night at 3 wide, baby. That's some really, really good stuff. Just check back in with Johnny Thomas. He's hanging on the 5th. Acosta keeps making little bitty runs on him, and then just seems to kind of have to get at him again and trying not to use up those tires. But still an interesting little battle right there. That I know Acosta really would love to get a top 5 tonight. Was so happy to start where he did tonight, and he's got a shot here if he can just keep going and stay in the tracks of that number 83 machine. He's got a shot.
Yeah, we continue to watch this battle for 2nd, but let's elaborate a bit more on Carlos Acosta's position right now. He is currently sitting 11th in the points. That is the highest of the points drivers who are not in the chase. And meanwhile, I'm being told that Paul Ross is coming into the pits, so we should see pit stops. Yes, it is lap 47. We should see the rest of the field coming in within the next 5 to 10 laps for their 2nd round of scheduled pit stops, and expect Tanner Sharp, currently running in 2nd, to kick that off. Anyhow, back to the point at hand about Carlos Acosta. He currently has a handy lead over Ron Collinsworth, who's 12th in the points. It is, trying to do quick math right here, 18 points from him.
Sharp is in.
Sharp into the pits.
You called it, Sam. He was ready to bring that car in, and he sure did, right on schedule.
Oh, and Richard Lafferty's in trouble.
Yep, spinning down through the crest. Right in front. Right in front of Tanner Sharp.
He's got heavy damage. What happened there? Because he was running up in the top 5. He gets in the wall. I think this was a multi-car collision. Yeah, he bounced off a lap car and got in the wall.
Yeah, he bounced right off of the, I think that was the 63 machine of Mike Stevens there.
Meanwhile, Acosta has gone by. And what's happening with Tanner Sharp there? Looks like he was coming back out onto the field and that got very loose. But no harm, no foul, although it's probably going to cost him a bit of time.
Yeah, it will cost him just a little bit of time, and you said it exactly. He was coming off there, and looked like he might have just jammed the throttle a little bit too quickly there, and that car kind of snapped around on him. Almost got up into the racing groove, but he managed to keep it down there and save it. But that cost him a few seconds, and that can hurt here.
So Richard Lafferty then, problem with his crash is not only, well, he crashed and he's currently sitting as we continue to watch this battle between Zelensky and Acosta. It's not only he crashed and he's a chase driver and it's going to cost him points, but he had to do a whole lap at half speed to get back around to the pits while the rest of the field were racing under green. So unless we do get a bit of attrition at the end, I don't really see Lafferty bouncing back into the top 5. We'll wait and see though.
Now Acosta manages to get around Zelensky, and he's having to deal right now with the Paul Ross machine 2 laps down, the number 51 right in front of him. I would expect Acosta's probably setting up for a pit stop here any time now, and he's just, I guess, maybe a little weary of trying to make a run around that 51 right now, but he has got Zelensky all in his mirror right now as they head down the back stretch. What's going to happen here? Is Acosta going to come in now? Will Zelensky follow him?
I'm surprised no one else has came in yet, except for Ron Collinsworth, the damaged car, and Tanner Sharp, who led them all off. Justin Krasinski says he will pit this time by. Tanner Sharp, last time around, he has been running 29.4s, and 29.2 that time by, while Justin Krasinski has only been half a second slower. And the battle continues between Acosta and Zelensky there. Krasinski, our race leader, is in the pits, almost loses it on pit entry, trying to get the car woed up. He had a 4.5 second lead over Tanner Sharp before this round of stops. I have a feeling Tanner is going to have reduced that, and we've got Paul Ross in the grass coming into the pits. He'll get there safely. So I have a feeling that Justin Krasinski will only have about a 3 second lead over Tanner Sharp when this is all said and done. I just like his strategy, Tanner is going to show.
Yeah, well, Tanner's coming down the backstretch right now, so car looks good. I mean, he's taking care of it. You know, sans that little incident he had coming out there right after that last green flag lap, that car looks great, man. And here he comes across the start-finish line now, and Tanner. Again, still making up pretty good ground here, despite that little runoff he had there.
Yes, and I apologise, I forgot about the runoff, so that will mean it is more than 3.5 seconds, because currently Justin Krasinski has made his stop, came back out on track and got up to speed. He is currently apexing through turns 3 and 4, while Tanner Sharp is only just entering the turn. Let's see if this time by, if we can get the time for you between those two cars. It is 3 seconds, 3.2 seconds. So Tanner Sharp has been able to eat in a bit of that time.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas was just out getting into the pits, and he had a little bit of trouble getting in. Got that car in really hot, and almost spun that thing around getting in. Had to save it, and then make his way down the very long pit road there. Man, Johnny did a great job of saving that car. He almost nosed into that inside retaining wall, but now has gotten his service and is back on the apron now, heading off of 2 and down the backstretch there for Johnny Thomas in the number 83.
Now the other driver I should have been keeping an eye on, but I guess I took my eye off of him, and it seems to have been crucial, is Samuel Close, because somewhere along the line he must have had trouble, because he has made his stop, and he is far, far back of Tanner Sharp. As a matter of fact, I think he's lost some spots doing this cycle of stops, including to Carlos Acosta.
Yeah, and we're hearing from the booth that he had a 29-second pit stop, so there you go. Something must have happened there getting in. I'm going to go back and take a look real quick, Sam.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. I didn't really see anything wrong with his car, but yeah, after he changed his 4 tyres, he was sitting in his pit stall for a little bit of time.
Yeah, and as things cycle around, Tanner's now up to 4th, so Tanner not really losing. Looks like he lost, honestly, to Krasinski. He lost about 3 seconds is what we're looking at right now.
Yep, and now they are back to first and second. Douglas Thompson had yet to pit. Corey Lindsay also a late pitter, as is Nathan Young getting back up to speed. So Tanner Sharp, as you say, is currently 3 seconds back of Justin Krasinski, but he was 4.5 seconds back when pit stops began. Now those times are going to fluctuate a lot over the next few laps because of the amount of lap traffic that is on the field right now, and a lot of lap traffic is going into the pits or coming out of the pits. However, I can tell you that this time around, Tanner Sharp was able to eat in about another tenth of a second on Justin Krasinski, and I don't think either of them had to deal with traffic at that. And currently, as we are working lap 61, so we just actually took the cross flags that time around, Tanner has half this race left to close, just 3 seconds on Justin Krasinski. And I know we've had a clean race, Sean, we haven't had a single caution flag, but I don't think that we're going to be able to complete the second half of this race without one, and that could certainly change everything, especially with the amount of different strategies out there today.
Well, you're going to see these guys push these cars a little bit to try and make up ground here towards the later stages of this race. And, when you push these to the limit, anything can happen. And, we've seen at times a pretty loose racetrack, especially as these cars get light on their fuel load. And as they get past that last pit stop, I'm going to imagine that last run is going to be pretty amazing, Sam. Right now, though, what I'm looking at here is... Corey Lindsay right now in danger of being lapped down by our leader, Justin Krasinski. The back of the field is coming into view, and could be advantage Sharp there. And Sharp is picking up just a little bit every lap, and he is closing in on Krasinski.
While that's going on, we're having a look at our other championship contender, and that is Samuel Close being held up by Carlos Acosta as he tries to rally his way back up into the top 5. So after that slow stop, for whatever reason it happened, Samuel Close has fallen all the way back to 6th place, and he cannot seem to break back into that top 5.
Yeah, and Acosta, having a really great run. He did not have any luck last week at Watkins Glen, but I'll tell you what, and Close pulling off that move on him now as they head into the backstretch. Oh, man, Close. That was close. Acosta manages to get around as Close saves the car. And, man, he talking about pushing the limits. That was it right there. Oh, and Acosta's off the wall. He's spinning through the grass down across the start-finish line. He's in the middle of the track. The yellow flag is out.
And let's hope the other drivers realise that he stopped there in the middle of the track pointing backwards, because they're still coming at full speed. Very close moment there from Douglas Thompson. Meanwhile, something's happened as we're watching this replay. Something has also happened to Mike Stevens. His car's sitting in pit stall with a lot of damage. Richard LaFerty has retired, and fortunately Carlos Acosta... Watch this on board Douglas Thompson here. Oh, that was close. Oh, he did hit him. Well, we finally have a chance to catch our breath, Sean.
It all went wrong for Acosta. He was coming out of 4, and he touched the apron just a little bit, man. Kicked the car to the right just ever so slightly, and it started spinning that car. He just couldn't collect it. What an amazing job by these drivers right here to all just manage to get around him. He did the smart thing. Stayed right there in the middle of the track. He knew it wasn't damaged that bad. He did the absolute right thing to just sit there and let those guys get around him, and everybody is safer because of it. So good on Carlos. Looks like he's going to be able to get back in this thing.
Now the field is in the pits, including pretty much everyone on the lead lap, and Tanner Sharp has overshot his pit stall. So that means as we're watching the replay here, Tanner Sharp has overshot his pit stall, so that means we may have a new lead off of pit road. It looks like they're all taking 4 tyres. Justin Krasinski was the leader, so that means he will come out the leader. I mean, Tanner Sharp is going to lose second to Levi Zielinski. How did Levi get up there?
Lots of hard work. Levi's had a tough evening, man. He's bounced all up and down this field tonight. Comes off the pit there and finds himself up here towards the front of this field. Zelensky just hanging in there, just a real battle. Remember, he's got the Cougar riding with him, so he's tough guy tonight.
Yes, he says he does. So, being told Levi Zelensky may have had a 2-tire stop there, a sub about a 10-second pit stop. You can only imagine that was 2 tires, so maybe that's how he got up into second. And that's not a bad call, Sean, considering the fact that we had a green flag pit stops not that long ago.
Well, you know what? Not a bad call at all, actually. That really got him a lot of positions there. Obviously, he's up to second. We just went in the pits about 10 laps ago, so I mean, everybody, or a little bit less than that for him, actually. So, yeah, good call. Only took 2 tires, went back and checked it, 2 tires. Nice 10-second pit stop, puts him all the way up there in second place right now. Great job by Zelensky, great strategy. And Tanner Sharp getting a chance here to kind of reset and settle back into this thing. Gets to start in a lot better spot here than he did the last time we started this race. So Tanner, I'm sure, going to look to get to the front and get around Krasinski as quick as he can there on the inside.
Now it looks like we will have 12 cars on the lead lap when this is all said and done, because Justin Kolb just came into the pits. But that's because he was the driver who got the wave around. He was the first driver off of a lead lap. There are currently 3 cars sitting behind the pace car. Nathan Young, Douglas Thompson and Skylar Nissel, who are only 1 lap down, so they should get a wave around, and that will put 12 cars on the lead lap, with Carlos Acosta, if we get another quick caution. He is the only car 1 lap down now. He lost a lap when he brought out the caution, so obviously he won't be allowed free pass, and he won't be allowed a wave around because he's been into the pits to get that damage repaired. You see the drivers getting waved around right now, so Nathan Young, Douglas Thompson and Skylar Nissel back on the lead lap. The pace car lights are off. The order is Justin Krasinski, Levi Zelensky, Tanner Sharp, Johnny Thomas, Race Clark and Nick Miller. Neither of those two we've mentioned a whole lot of 5th and 6th. Samuel Close has fallen all the way down to 7th. Corey Lindsay rounds up the top 8. Justin Kolb is 9th, and then after that we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out with the wave rounds going on right now.
You know, we talked about Race Clark a little bit last week. He had a pretty good run there at times. Didn't work out for him in the end, but Race Clark was pretty fast there on the road course there at Watkins Glen. Might have something for the front of this field here. He did qualify 14th and has run some pretty good laps tonight here. So Race Clark could get into the mix here, but he's got a lot of fast drivers in front of him to make that happen, and he's got Samuel Close right behind him, so he better watch out for that.
Pace goes off. Justin Krasinski is back on the accelerator and pulling away from the field once again. The not so hot start from the drive in second, but it's also because Levi Zelensky, that drive in second, is on all tyres, and that means he will drop back to third, and the Sharp using that desired low line to his advantage. Levi falls back to third, Johnny Thomas is in 4th, and 3 Wide Racing is living by its name as Nick Miller dropped back a couple of spots there on the high side. Race Clark currently in 5th, holding off Samuel Close in 6th. Justin Kolb and Corey Lindsay also side by side. Justin Kolb, after being the wave around and getting those new tyres and back on the lead lap, is back up into 7th place already.
Samuel Close battling door to door with Race Clark for now a lap and a half. On that restart, Samuel Close was all up the bumper of Race Clark and trying to make it work up top, and hasn't been able to pull it off yet. Race Clark doing a really good job of holding that car down.
Tanner's lost it! Tanner Sharp, our championship leaders, lost it from second. Into him goes Levi Zelensky. Into him goes Johnny Thomas. They go through the grass. There's no caution. Tanner Sharp, though, is spinning through the grass, and he gets back on, pointing in the right direction. But all 3 of those cars are now a bit beat up and have dropped to the back of the lead pack.
Wow, just wow. And Race Clark finds himself now up in 2nd place.
Carlos Acosta, meanwhile, was still in the pits, so he must have been heavily damaged under that last caution. But yeah, as you say, the P2, 3 and 4 all go out. That means Race Clark, who has won that battle with Samuel Close, is now up into 2nd. Justin Kolb is now up into 3rd. Samuel Close is in 4th, and Corey Lindsay rounds out the top 5.
and how quickly fortunes can change, man. Here we are in the second half of this race, and now getting into the closing stages here upon us, and everything gets shuffled up here, and just some really hard racing. This surface has been really unpredictable at times tonight, and it came up and bit us again.
Well, I mean, Tanner Sharp had done everything right tonight. He had changed up a strategy, and I believed it was working for him. He had closed in on the lead of 1.5 seconds over the last round of green flag pit stops. He was looking to pass Justin Krasinski when he just got a little bit loose in turns 3 and 4. He would have saved it had he not had those cars right on his rear bumper going through the turn. Tailgating, don't do it on the road, kids, but on the racetrack you really got no choice if you want to make a pass, and unfortunately those drivers behind Tanner just got nowhere to go when he got a little bit loose.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot of damage on his car at all. I think Justin's still got I think Tanner's still got a pretty good race car, but man, he's got to come a long way to do it. He's 15 and almost 15 and a half seconds back from Krasinski and Race Clark and the guys. He's got a lot of work to do, but maybe that pit strategy pays off to him here at some point. I don't know, Sam. We'll see.
Can't really say enough about Race Clark, currently racing up there in second place. He might be about to lose that to Samuel Close. Meanwhile, Corey Lindsay just had a moment off of that.
Oh, Close got him. Close got a little bit of that left rear.
And he slides down the field, but no one hits him. I guess we can blame the commentators for that one.
And
Oh,
Race
did he
Clark
just
gets
get
hit. Yep.
Mike Stevens. We'll get it on the end of the replay here. We went back to replay because we thought the field had avoided him. Mike Stevens is smoking heavily. He may be out of the race. Watching number 63, red and green, Papa John's car. We're going to ride on board him. Oh, just didn't see him until the last moment, I suppose.
I guess not, man. That's really unfortunate for Race Clark, man. That car's got heavy damage now. Didn't really have much at all. He was sitting there, and man, that's really unfortunate. Like I said, that car is smoking bad, got a lot of damage. He's probably going to have to stay in the pits for at least a few minutes to even get that thing back on the track.
Well, he's smoking. I don't know if he'll be able to get back on the track at all. Justin Krasinski fakes into the pits. The first driver who doesn't fake is Nick Miller. And obviously this will be a break for Tanner Sharp, Levi Zielinski and Johnny Thomas, who were running second, third and fourth and got together when Tanner made that mistake, and now they can come into the pits and get their damage repaired.
Yeah, and well, I mean, if there was ever an opportune yellow flag, I guess that was it. With all those guys having a little bit of trouble there, this kind of resets everything now, and these guys can come in, freshen up, and make another run at it, Sam.
And what this does do, even though you may not agree with how we got it, I mean, you can't really put the blame on that battle for second. That was just hard racing, in my opinion. But Samuel Close, it now moves him up into second place. And with Tanner Sharp having his issues, currently running back down there in sixth, this could turn out to be a very good points night for Samuel. However, I don't think it's over yet, because even if we restart in 2 laps, and honestly I think we've still got about 3 laps left of this caution, we will still have 40 laps to go, and that is a long time for anything to happen. So we will continue to keep our eye on the number 5 Ford Mustang of Samuel Close and the number 3 Chevrolet Camaro of Tanner Sharp, and here comes the field into the pits the second time by. So
yeah.
Maybe the pits weren't open first time.
Yeah, well, it looked like Corey Lindsay let him down that time, and he's got Corey's got looks Doug Thompson comes in with him there, and as he passes, I just saw him pass the Race Clark machine. But yeah, a lot of people went in right there, and we see Skylar Nisselin again.
Yeah, I think where I'm getting confused there, a lot of those drivers are lap down cars, and the pits only just opened for them this time by. I was just thrown off by the fact that Corey Lindsay came in, but I mean, Corey Lindsay, as fast as he is currently one of our Trace drivers, sitting 9th in the points. I think maybe he felt a bit out of his waters up there in the top 5, considering that he was 13th in practice and 12th in qualifying. and he realised that, hey, if we restarted right now, I'm going to be restarting fourth, and then just thought, let's come into the pits, get some fresh tyres, you know, drop back a couple positions, but we'll have a safer restart.
Well, our in-race reporter, Carlos Acosta, is back on the track, Sam.
Yes, I'm a bit hesitant whether we should call him up, because I know he is probably not too pleased right now.
Yeah, that's a tough break for him. I just wanted to make light of the fact that he was back on the track. Really happy to see him back out there. Did a pretty good job there in the garage getting that car straightened out. It's looking pretty racy. We'll see here in a moment. He is 8 laps down.
Mike Stevens has officially retired from the race. Race Clark is currently still in the pits getting repairs. Lights are off on the pace car. We will have 9 cars left on the lead lap when we restart. They are Justin Krasinski, Samuel Close, Justin Cole, Nick Miller, Tanner Sharp, Johnny Thomas, Corey Lindsay, Nathan Young, and Levi Zielinski. And honestly, with the amount of stuff that's happened in this race, I'm not prepared to pick a winner just yet, although it's hard to bet against Justin Krasinski.
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't count out Levi Zielinski, okay? Because Levi is, we've seen, up to the front, back to the back, in the middle, and right now he's going to restart tonight. Watch out for Levi. He's going to probably try and come back up through there pretty quick with only 40 laps left now.
And the pace car lights are off. Justin Krasinski, as anticipated, will restart on the inside line. That has been the best line on both starts so far this race. On the gas pedal very early, Justin Krasinski gets a good jump on Samuel Close, who has Justin Cole running underneath him. Justin, remember, is very fast, but he had some troubles earlier on in the race. I believe he slid into the turn 2 wall, and he is trying to get his name back up into the second spot. Side by side down the backstretch, Sean.
Yeah, down the backstretch. Pretty much everybody going side by side there. Back of the field spreads out. Some of those cars are a little bit damaged. Zielinski, not that bad a start there. He's kind of just trying to settle in, get in line. Car still looking pretty racy. He's reaching pretty good speed here. 188 miles an hour into turn 1. Able to keep it down there in the groove. He works on a number 90 machine.
Our 2 championship contenders almost tangled there. And there's one car off on the inside wall at the back. And coming back up on the track is Paul Ross. And he's smoking, but there's no caution. Oh, and there's more trouble on the front stretch. Tanner Sharp has gone around again. He's still pointing in the right direction. We're still under green, but he's going to drop to the back of the field. I don't see him with that much major damage, but he was running in 4th, and now he's back to 9th, and he's got to do all that hard work over again. We'll get a replay here of Tanner Sharp, and he got turned that time.
Man, Paul Ross, I'll tell you what, Paul Ross has started that whole thing. He almost took out 3 cars as he slid up back across the track, and they just managed to get by him. Paul Ross just got loose off the 2 and just couldn't hold on to it. Hit that inside retaining wall really hard as he crawls down the pit lane right now.
So, after all that, let's set out for you. Justin Krasinski leads to no one's surprise. Samuel Close, who was almost involved in an incident with Tanner Sharp before Tanner did have his incident, has moved his way back up into 2nd by Justin Kolb, who continues to run 3rd. Corey Lindsay is in 4th, and there's a battle for 5th. Johnny Thomas going by Nick Miller.
Man, this track has been really tough on some of these guys tonight, and it has been a beast to some and a real beauty to others. Justin Krasinski just enjoying the view up front for most of the night. Just seems to have that car dialed in right now. That 05 Chevy Camaro is fast.
Well, he's got to be fast for another 35 laps. Because let's not forget, despite Tanner Sharp's difficulties, Samuel Close has had a similar race to him, despite not having as many setbacks, in that he started in 10th place and has had to work his way through the field, and I say he hasn't had many setbacks. He has had some issues. If I recall correctly, he had a long pit stop early in the race. He currently runs 7/10 of a second back of Krasinski. He lost the 10th that lap, but do not count him out for the win.
Looking in on Levi Zielinski, he's working on Nick Miller. Nick Miller in that championship hunt needs every position he can get tonight. Zielinski working on the inside. Nick telling him to go low, giving up the ghost there, letting him have it as they head into 3 and off of 4. We see Levi Zielinski. He's going to take that 6th place spot across the start-finish line. Another spot gain there for Zielinski. He's making his way back up to the front of the field. Nick Miller right now just trying to save the car. Wants to get the best finish he can right now with some of those championship contenders sitting behind him.
Zielinski just got a piece of a wall coming off of turn 2 there, actually. Not too bad. Nick Miller, meanwhile, is actually one of our race drivers currently running N7. I believe he's not the last car on the lead lap. Nathan Young and Tanner Sharp are still on the lead lap. Nathan Young, he is beaten on pace. Tanner Sharp had that moment. But Nick Miller has been using consistency to really get him up into a good spot in the points. Currently only, well, just a little away for 10 points, 13 points in total, back of a points leader Tanner Sharp entering today, so don't count him out for the championship just yet. He hasn't had any wins this season, but Nick Miller always seems to be up there.
Hey, how about the run Nathan Young is having? I mean, remember, he didn't even take the quality time. Started back there in 17th. Got his way up to 8th right now. Looking at the car, it's clean, man. He's got nothing, not even a scratch on that thing. Looks like he just rolled off the showroom floor. Looking fast. Nathan Young, really right now, looking at Nick Miller and Zielinski up in front of him there. They're just a couple of seconds up there. He can get himself into the mix here, maybe get a top 5 before this is over.
Something happened to Justin Krasinski last lap, I don't know what, but his lead basically got halved from 0.8 seconds to 0.4 seconds. I don't think, Samuel Close is closing in on him a little bit. I have a feeling the front end is going to wash out and he's not going to be able to complete the pass, because I have a feeling Justin, oh, and look at this, he's proving me wrong. Justin Krasinski, maybe he's burned his tyres off early here because Samuel Close is going for it.
Man, that was some move down the front right there.
Oh, and he overshot the turn. Back out of the gas on the exit of the corner there. That's going to cost him down the back stretch. They're talking to each other on the radio. But Samuel proved that he wasn't afraid to fight. And Justin proved that he's not prepared to give up the lead. And the big win out of that is Justin Kolb in 3rd place is able to close in on him.
Yes, here comes Justin Kolb. And man, there's still that battle going on behind these guys here, man. Just possibly making a pass in the grass there in the rearview mirror. I think that might have been Zielinski getting 2 wheels on the grass there.
I think that was actually Lindsay dropping back, but meanwhile a battle for the lead. Samuel Close goes under. Is he going to be able to complete the pass? He has him cleared, is able to make the move, but Justin Krasinski will have a better run off the turn. He has the slipstream, but he doesn't have anything as far as the pass is concerned. And for the first time this race, Samuel Close is in the lead. Can he hold on to it for another 26 laps?
And Nick Miller just got around Zielinski. Nick Miller taking over that 5th place spot from Zielinski.
This is a great race by Nick so far. I wouldn't say too much because I was saying the same thing about Race Clark.
Yeah, yes you were. and he enjoyed that comment so much he left. So thanks. No, that's all good. I'm just checking in on Johnny Thomas here. He's my early pick to do well in this race, and you know what? Johnny has separated himself from that little pack behind him, that battle between Miller and Zielinski and Lindsay there, and still has a ways to go, though, to catch almost 3 seconds ahead of him there is the rest of the field there. You've got Cole, Krasinski, and Close up there battling. That is the next battle, though, back there. Thomas, Miller, and Zielinski. Lindsay bringing up the tail there.
Well, Johnny Thomas right now is going to be looking really handsome in the points after this race, because he's going to get 3rd. The fact that Nathan Cody is here, and Justin Krasinski says he's coming into the pits this lap. Now this should get him to the end if I'm correct, and Justin Kolb coming into the pits too.
Close is coming in next time. He just made the call, so he was a little late to react there. It's going to be all by himself there, and I'm going to keep an eye on Samuel Close and see where he winds up here as he comes around on the backstretch all by himself. Nobody in front, nobody behind. Is the race leader right now, and he is making his way into the pits, getting on the binders, getting the speed down as he hits the commitment cones there, and got to get it down to, I believe, 50 miles an hour, I think it is. 50, yes, it's 50, and he is in. Sam Close coming in and making his way very slowly down the pit lane there. He qualified in 10th, so his pit box is coming up, and he's rolling in.
Oh, and Justin Kolb stopped short in his pit stall and had to go forward, so that cost him a lot of time in the pits. Justin Krasinski almost lost it getting back on the power, and that's going to cost him a bit of time, and this could be crucial considering how close they were all running to each other. Justin Krasinski coming out of turn 4.
And Samuel Close is out of the pits. He took 2 tires, Sam. Sam Close takes 2 tires and fuel. And there they are, right on the outside of him, coming out as he is coming around and out of the pits.
Well, this race just got a whole lot more interesting, didn't it?
Yes, it did. 2 tires for Sam Close there. He's got a ways to go, and he's going to, he's got a lot of work to do. As we see the number, I believe that was the number 90, Corey Lindsay, gets in the pits just ahead of him there.
Johnny Thomas is yet to pit, as is Nick Miller, Levi Zielinski, Tanner Sharp. They are all currently still running out there on the circuit. The battle that we all need to be keeping an eye on is Samuel Close. Well, I guess we don't have to keep an eye on it yet. Samuel Close and Justin Krasinski are several seconds apart right now. 4, I believe, is the ultimate number, but we will be keeping an eye to see how much Krasinski can close in on those 4 tyres.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, right now, just interesting strategies going on here as we're trying to make our way down to these last 20 laps now. We got 20 laps to go, Sam. This is going to be a real shootout here. This has been a great race, and I expect it to get a little bit better here real quick.
Justin Krasinski just ran into the back of Tanner Sharp over in turns 1 and 2, gave him a little bump. I'll tell you, that was light enough that it didn't spin Tanner Sharp out, and to make contact with another car and not spin them out on iRacing is a feat in itself. So that shows you how light it was. But Justin Krasinski really wants to try and get by Tanner Sharp here. Tanner's on the radio. I don't know if he says he's going to let him by, or maybe he says he's coming into the pits this time. Oh, they got very close there, and that did damage the front of Krasinski's car.
Yeah, well, Tanner told him he was going to go in the pit, and I was a little bit of miscommunication there, a little bit of an apology there as Krasinski went by, but yeah, that was kind of a little risky there, getting in there. Tanner did a really good job to hold on to that car. He almost got turned all the way around.
So, you got the leader, or who will eventually be the leader. The leader right now is Johnny Thomas, who has yet to pit for his final stop. You got the leader, the eventual leader, Samuel Close, who's on 2 tyres, and then you got Krasinski, who is on 4 tyres, but now has some aerodynamic issues.
Well, Johnny Thomas is still out there, and he has got a second on Nick Miller right now, so these 3 cars right here, Thomas, Miller, and Zielinski, they still need to come in and get some fuel and some tires here to make it to the end of the race. And those gaps are going to continue to close the longer they stay out there. So I would expect them coming in any lap here. And then we'll see those leaders reshuffle again, Sam.
And before anyone asks if Johnny Thomas could be potentially saving fuel when making it to the end, I will tell you that he hit 188 miles an hour heading into turn 1 that time by. So I don't think saving fuel is on his agenda right now. I think you are going to see these leaders come into the pits. Of course, if a caution comes up, we tend to go, and it could do, because Levi Zielinski just slammed the wall coming into the pits. And that's blown his engine.
Tough night for Zielinski.
He's not a chase driver, he is simply here for the win. He was in a position where he could have won it had everything gone his way, but spun on pit entry, and that's not the way you get wins.
Yeah, nose into that concrete wall is not the way you want to do it. That can be an ender, Sam.
Johnny Thomas into the pits now. And that will cycle Nick Miller up to the lead. No, it won't, because Miller's coming in too.
So that will now cycle in our new leader, Samuel Close. Will take the point there as they come back around.
Alright, so now, even though it's not a battle, it is the battle to keep an eye on. What is the gap between Close and Krasinski? Across the line goes Samuel Close. He ran a 29.6 that time by, and Krasinski ran a 29.3. He ate up 0.3 of a second that time by, and the time difference between them is 3 seconds, almost 3.0 seconds.
Well, that's a lot of ground to make up, man. But Sam has been awful fast tonight. Johnny Thomas got a little. I'm sorry, not Johnny Thomas. Now Sam's been awful fast tonight, but Krasinski has been the class of the field for most of the night. So, and what I was going to say was right there, Krasinski had to get around Thomas there, and that was a little bit of work down there on the inside, wasn't it, Sam?
Oh, trap on. What's going on here? Did Levi Zielinski just have a moment on the backstretch? I thought I saw some smoke. And Levi's going slow. But anyhow, I was about to point out what you just said, Sean. How is Johnny Thomas came out the pits in third? He was actually out of the pits in second in front of Krasinski, despite staying out on all the tyres for those laps. He must have taken 2 tyres or no tyres on his last stop. 2 tyres. Tanner Sharp also... Being told Tanner Sharp and Skylar Nissel also took 2 tyres that time by, as did Johnny Thomas. And Nick Miller. And what's and I found out smoke, it's Corey Lindsay. Oh no, wait, that's the driver who hit the pit wall. Sorry.
Yeah, so now we've got Johnny Thomas working on Justin Krasinski, and Johnny really playing a pretty good strategy there with the 2 tyres. It doesn't seem to be hurting him at all right now. He's working pretty hard and running a pretty hot line around this track here, keeping Krasinski in sight. And, you know, they're starting to gain just a little bit on Close. So the race is afoot right now. We've got a good one going here, Sam, right down to the end.
Less than 10 laps to go and 2.8 seconds behind Samuel Close, who hasn't made a heck of a lot of mistakes today. I have a feeling, I'm afraid, for Justin Krasinski and Johnny Thomas that they might as well begin battling the second here, because I'm not sure they can run down Samuel, but at the same time, I'm not sure Justin, I'm not sure they can run down each other at all.
Yeah, well, like the sands in the hourglass of time, they are running low, and the time is now. And I don't know if Thomas and Krasinski got enough to get that far forward quick. They're going to have to depend on a mistake from Samuel Close, who has been, as you said there. What was that, Sam? What'd you see?
He almost lost it off a 4. Can't say he's not trying. Can't say he can't make mistakes. Although granted, he must have been pushing hard that time by, because he, oh no, actually it was a slow lap from Krasinski. Close put on a lap time that he had been put in. But yeah, he almost had a moment out of turn 4.
Well, if you haven't had a moment out of turn 4 here at Texas Motor Speedway, then you haven't raced hard enough.
7 laps to go. He's only got to do it 7 more times, maybe even less than that if we go to caution. There are no green-white checkers in iRacing. If we have a caution flag with 4 or 5 laps to go, that will end it.
Yeah, and the field is pretty spread out right now. The only real battle right now is that battle for second and third. Nick is just falling. Nick Miller's fallen a little bit too far off the pace, and so is Justin Kolb, and Tanner Sharp is 11.5 seconds back. So those cars just don't have enough to get there. But Krasinski just running out of time right now. Samuel just not making any mistakes right now. He is on his way to a win here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Although that time by, they're 2.2 seconds apart. And I'm trying to see, it must have happened 2 laps ago, because that lap they were almost identical on time, so it must have been one of the laps where Samuel had one of these mistakes that Justin was able to take out all that time on him, because Justin has reduced that gap from 3 seconds to 2 seconds over about the last 5 laps. The problem is, when they come by this time by, there's only 4 laps to go. He would have to take about half a second a lap out of Samuel to win this race. And I'm sorry, but the only way you're going to do that is if the number 5 car makes a mistake now. And that number 5 Ford Mustang comes across the line. 4 laps, 6 miles left to go around Texas Motor Speedway.
Just went back and checked on Carlos Acosta. Hey, listen, Carlos back in the race, 9 laps down, got himself up to 13th though, and started 5th. A tough night for him, but Carlos still in this thing, going to finish this race with a car on the track. So good on him, and good on Douglas Thompson for having a pretty solid run tonight. He's kept that car out there and had to fight some traffic and some incidents on the track, and he's still out there running pretty strong, running in 9th spot right now, holding that spot down.
As a matter of fact, next time by, Carlos Acosta will be scored ahead of Covey Lindsay, who is in the pits with that damage and the smoke in his engine from losing it on pit entry. So that will be 12th spot for Carlos Acosta, which will be key in holding off Ron Collinsworth for 11th in the points. Ron Collinsworth currently sits 12th in the points, and he is currently running 11th in the race, 4 laps down after some damage early on. Samuel Close has gotten the 2 to go. He is currently working his way down the back stretch. In less than a mile, he will be taking the white flag, and all he will have to do with a 1.8 second lead is just make a clean lap without hitting anything, and he will be your winner here today at Texas. White flag in the air. Got a lap car in front of him. That's Levi Zielinski. He goes high. And the next car in front is Nathan Young, all the way down to turn 3 right now. The last car on the lead lap in 7th place. Good run by Nathan Young. Here comes Samuel Close. He's already got 1 win this season. Going to take the points lead with this win here today with just 3 rounds left to go. Next race is on Sunday at Martinsville. Samuel Close wins at Texas.
What a great run by Close after Krasinski tried to dominate most of this race. Samuel Close really, with some key pit stops there at the end of this race, towards the end, really pulls off a great victory here tonight, and will find himself in the championship lead when we leave here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway heading into Martinsville, Sam.
A couple of stories at the finish line. Levi Zielinski blows his engine up as he crosses the line. I don't know if he did that intentionally and just put it in 3rd gear. He gets 10th place and then blows his engine up. And we had a side-by-side finish for 4th that I guess I missed building. And Nick Miller was just able to hold on to it. Nick Miller gets the 4th place. What a great race from the driver sitting 5th in the points. Justin Kolb was the driver who got 5th. The difference between them over the line was about half of a tenth of a second. Anyway, we will be back with driver interviews here from Texas Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway, where Samuel Close just took his second win of the season and took the points lead away from Tanner Sharp. Justin Krasinski came home in second place, followed by Johnny Thomas and Nick Miller. Justin Kolb rounded out the top 5. Tanner Sharp, a points leader, fell back to 6th place after having a couple of near spins during the race. Nathan Young was the first driver a lap down in 7th, good run by him. Skylar Nissel as well, a good run there in 8th place. Douglas Thompson was the last driver 1 lap down in 9th. Levi Zielinski finished in 10th with a blown engine right after the race finish, Sean.
Yeah, and we'll take the last 7 positions here. Ron Collinsworth finishes in 11th tonight. Carlos Acosta, tough night for Carlos there, finishes in 12th. 13th, Corey Lindsay. 14th, Paul Ross. Race Clark, tough evening for him, man. He did some great things, got up there towards the front, and then had an unfortunate incident. He finishes 15th. Mike Stevens comes home in 16th, and Richard Lafferty comes home in 17th tonight, Sam. 71 laps down.
Samuel Close may be our new points leader, but another big winner in the points today was Johnny Thomas, who finished in 3rd place. And Sean, you have caught up with Johnny.
Hey Johnny, congratulations putting that car there up on the podium tonight. You were my pick to win this thing, but I think you'll settle for that 3rd place, won't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry I let you down.
That's all right, man. No problem. There wasn't any money involved. We're good.
Yeah,
What,
There wasn't?
No.
Okay.
Man, that was quite a run tonight. Lots of action out there. What was it like navigating all that?
Yeah, the track was loose and tight, and just depending on what type of entry you had into the corner, controlled that. But we had an incident with Tanner and Levi that gave me some damage, but I think Levi got the worst end of it. But it was pretty tough race out there.
Yeah, it was some great racing up and down the field, and again, you got to feel pretty happy about coming home with that 3rd place finish. You were sitting tied for 3rd in the points, and you may actually jump up to 2nd here. I'm not quite sure how that's going to shake out yet, but looking at it, and that's going to be a great night for you. You're at least going to hold serve and stay where you're at. So not bad with 3 races to go. What are your chances at Martinsville? How do you like that?
Short tracks is where it's at for me, so hopefully Martinsville's the same. I had a good run at Richmond a couple weeks ago and lost connection, so we should be all right. I should be all right.
All right, so you like that old paper clip down there, huh?
Oh yeah, Martinsville's fun. Martinsville's a fun place.
Well, I'm sure we'll see some very competitive racing out of the 3 wide bunch at Martinsville next week. May not be 3 wide, you might be, and if you are, that might not be the best choice. But
yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, we certainly look forward there to seeing you in Martinsville, and congratulations to you tonight on your 3rd place run. And travel safe, my friend. We'll see you down the road.
Yep, you guys do an awesome job of broadcasting all the races. We appreciate it, and I'd like to give a shout out to HT Motorsports, the old go-kart team back home.
All right, buddy. Well, we appreciate that shout out. I know they do too. Sam, I believe you're getting ready to hook up with our 2nd place finisher tonight on the podium there, old Justin Krasinski.
Yes, Justin Krasinski came home in 2nd, but I'm sure, Justin, you wanted one more spot there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Alright, yeah. I don't know what to say about that.
Did you think Samuel would be able to make a move on you there at the end? Because he'd kind of been working his way up from the middle of the field. Did you think he would have the pace to get you on that final run?
Yeah, it was going to be a great fight for sure. I saw the 25 messed his pit stop a little bit. Didn't quite get in the box straight, and I was hoping it would be a good battle between Sam and myself like last week, but got 4 tires, he got 2, and I guess the best car just didn't win today.
Yeah, now, as you say, you took 4 tyres there, and it almost paid off. You finished 1.5 seconds back. You're not one of the chase drivers, so you're just here for the wins. We go to Martinsville on Sunday. Is that a place where you think you can win?
Yeah, actually, I'm really excited about it. That's one of my best tracks, believe it or not, with the road courses, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping we can have another good run there.
Alright, well, Congratulations and commiserations at the same time on bringing the number 05 car home in second place. Anything else that you'd like to say before we let you go home and get geared up for Martinsville?
I'd just like to thank everyone that's watching. That's the reason we do this. We're not out here for us. We're out here for them. And hope we put on a good show.
You certainly did. Well, once again, Justin, congratulations on second. We look forward to seeing you Sunday.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that about wraps up driver interviews. Samuel Close, I have a feeling, is celebrating a bit too hard down there in victory lane, but we can't blame him, especially after taking the points lead tonight. Before we head out, we would like to remind you that we will have the next race Sunday at Martinsville Speedway at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to shoot us messages on YouTube or on Twitter at GSR Channel or on Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. Before we hang up, we've got a few people we'd like to thank, including the makers of the various software and hardware that help make the stream possible. iRacing.com, Behringer, XSplit, Audio Technica and Ava Media. Thanks to the team today, Sean Ambrose and Kevin Brown. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at www.globalsimracing.channel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. A big thanks to Dougie Beard for creating the camera sets that you saw during this stream, and a special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide us with our music. So, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.